Have you ever wondered what it's like to walk through a grocery store and be so overstimulated that you had to turn around and leave? There are some people born in this world with disabilities that disrupt their normal daily lives. In fact, according to the National Service Inclusion Project, or the NSIP, an estimated 48.9 million people, or 19.4% of people that are non-institutionalized, suffer from a disability. Or 24.1 million people have a severe disability, and 34.2 million, or 17.5 people, have functional limitations. This makes fending for themselves in tough situations more difficult. For thousands of disabled Americans, service animals have provided a safe and comfortable environment to assist in everyday stressful life tasks and should be offered to more Americans. Service animals are animals who aid with several disabilities. They provide many benefits and govern many rules and regulations to become approved for the position. Service animals are who aid disabled Americans in many daily tasks. As defined by ADA requirements, a service animal is an animal individually trained to do work or perform tasks for people with disabilities. End quote, the Americans with Disability Act 2020. In the article, What is a Service Dog? Why they are so important, Anna agrees with the ADA's previous statement by stating that service animal dogs are specifically trained to help someone who has a disability. Service animals, or service dogs, can aid in a variety of different ways and abilities, ranging from anxiety to depression to heart attacks and many other life-threatening disabilities. In the article written by Booker, she confirmed that her personal best friend has a service dog to help combat her anxiety and depression. Not only do they provide support for her persons with seizures, anxiety, and depression, and many other disabilities, but they also provide both physical and emotional support to the handler. Alerting bystanders or their handler that their handler is about to have a seizure is one of many ways a service dog can provide physical support. Canine Partners for Life describes in their article, service dogs support people's physical disabilities in a variety of ways. They continue to explain tasks can be any normal household actions like walking, transferring of a wheelchair, or even just turning off and on a light. Not only do the animals provide physical support to their handlers, but they further support their handlers by providing emotional support. Booker explains this idea and states a service dog, like my friend, can help alleviate deliberating anxiety and usher a child through stressful school days. They can give simple cues to help bring an individual out of stressful environments while providing both physical and emotional support to the handlers. Service animals and dogs require extensive training to be able to deal with and help their handlers in any situation presented. Service animals govern many rules and regulations to become approved for the position. From the type of animal to the training, to where they can and can't go, is all regulated for a clear understanding to the public and handlers. Many people believe that a dog is the only animal that is allowed to become qualified to be a service animal, but as the ADA states, even miniature horses can be service animals as long as the rules are as followed. Throughout, while horses are allowed to be service animals, they are still regulated to follow a standard procedure before they are approved of the position. The American with Disabilities Act 2020. Service animals are allowed in all areas that a handler is allowed to be in. As described extensively by the ADA, state and local governments, businesses, and nonprofit organizations that serve the public generally must allow service animals to accompany people with disabilities in all aspects of the facility. Despite being allowed on all premises, they still have to follow regulated rules on how they can be in an area. They are required, as stated by Invincible Disabilities Association, to mitigate a person's disability by performing such tasks in retrieving, leading, pulling, providing balance, and or alerting. They should also be able to follow basic obedience commands such as sit, stay, hear, down, and or follow, as exhibits exceptional behavior in public places. The ADA further explains that the service animal must be accompanied by the handler and must wear a required leash and harness. So the ones that you buy from Walmart are not going to cut it. Like these simple ones that just snap, not going to cut it. In a case where these devices are not able to be used, the handler must use voice commands, and all other means to control the animal when needed. If there shall be an incident where the dog is not able to calm down or the animal is not house trained by the handler, the establishments can ask the handler and animal to leave the premises. Allergies and fear of dog are not valid reasons for denying access or refusing service to the people using service animals. The American with Disabilities, 2020. Public businesses are only allowed 2 questions if there is not enough evident reason as to why the handler has a service animal. These 2 questions are as followed, and stated by the ADA. First, is the dog a service animal required because of the disability? And second, what work or task has the dog been trained to operate and perform? They shall not ask about the person's disability, require medical documentation for the dog, or ask that the dog demonstrates its abilities to perform the work or task. Despite the animal's amount of training regulated, the rules and regulations, and the type of animal used, service animals provide an overwhelming amount of benefits not only to the handler but also the public in stressful situations. Service animals can provide many benefits to a handler, from emotional support and physical support to simply just being there for a disabled person. They require training and assist everyday life, but prove to have positive results for handlers. For thousands of disabled Americans, service animals have provided a safe and comfortable environment to assist in everyday stressful life tasks and should be offered to many more Americans. They help mimic comfort and provide help to the disabled in all aspects of life, while aiding a numerous amount of different disabilities. Service animals should be encouraged to those who have a physical, mental, and emotional disabilities that make it hard to cope with everyday life.